Moving on now, as the United States gears up for its presidential elections, border security is one sensitive issue that has created a political divide.
Well, of course, that divide is between the Democrats and Republicans. Now, the influx of migrants in the United States has put President Joe Biden in a politically threatened situation. The Democrats portray the situation as a policy dispute that Congress can fix, whereas Biden's 2024 Republican opponent, Donald Trump, has been constantly sharpening his attacks on the issue that has been a central part of his political message for almost a decade. In recent days, Trump has raised his anti-immigrant rhetoric.
But in a potentially worrying sign for Biden, Trump's message appears to be resonating with key elements of the Democratic coalition that Biden will require to win over this November.
Most of the US citizens are not content with the way President Biden has been handling the worrying situation. While Biden is optimistic about his re-election campaign, his approval rating tells a completely different story. And according to a new poll by the AP Knox Center for Public Affairs Research, roughly two-thirds of Americans now disapprove of how Biden is handling border security. This includes about 4 in 10 Democrats, 55% of black adults, and 73% of Hispanic adults.
Immigration will almost certainly be one of the central issues in November's election, with both sides spending the next 6 months trying to paint the other as wrong on border security. The White House has also mulled a series of executive actions that could drastically tighten immigration restrictions, effectively going around Congress after it failed to pass the bipartisan deal Biden endorsed. Now, for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report on how the border crisis is posing a major problem for President Biden's re-election campaign. Listen to this.
The political divide over immigration may determine the outcome of the next presidential election. President Biden's framing of the issue as a policy dispute that Congress can fix isn't resonating with the American people. Former President Donald Trump and his supporters see it as a crisis that threatens national security and identity. And now polls show that most Americans, even some Democrats, agree with that. Latest polls show that two-thirds of Americans disapprove of President Biden's handling of border security. 40% of Democrats, 55% of black adults, and 73% of Hispanic adults disapprove. 45% of Americans describe the situation at the border as being a crisis, while 32% say that it is a major problem. The political landscape on immigration is complex and contentious, with deep divisions and concerns on both sides.
Susan further explains how multiple US states are pushing for tougher immigration policies. Listen to this.
Iowa passed a bill similar to the one in Texas that allows state law enforcement to arrest illegal immigrants who were previously deported or denied entry into the United States. The bill makes it a crime for migrants to enter Iowa if they have a history of deportation or were denied entry into the country. While the Texas bill is in court, we're increasingly seeing states take matters into their own hands when it comes to immigration policy in lieu of leadership from the White House.